In order for us to have a better understanding of what is going on, by and large, it would be very helpful if we took a look at these developments by going back 1 year. You remember the moods a year ago. Right after the war, there were talks that there is no longer a need for the OSCE Minsk group. And after Aliyev received the US and European co-chairs of the OSCE Minsk group, since, if you recall, the Russian co-chair didn't attend the meeting, Aliyev even asked them why they had come and added that all the issues had been solved. Afterwards, the co-chairs arrived in Yerevan, and the so-called president of Artsakh didn't even come to Yerevan to meet with them. Overall, there were talks that there has to be the logic of the 3+3 regional format, the West is not involved, and all the issues will be solved in that narrow format. Generally speaking, it wasn't a 3+3, and the issues were supposed to be solved through a Russian-Turkish agreement. Now, let us compare what was going on a year ago with what is going on now. Look, what is very symbolic is the phrase that Putin uttered during the meeting in Sochi when he said, "Europe is waiting for you, Mr. Aliyev and Mr. Pashinyan." This is a very important phrase. Basically, Russia changed its stance in the course of 1 year, meaning Russia is no longer capable of showing resistance to the pressure from the West, and neither Russia nor the 3+3 format is capable of showing resistance to the attack of the West against that monopoly. Look, if we touch upon the results of the meeting held in Brussels, this is what happened, by and large. Firstly, the fact that Europe, that is, the European Union, still has an interest in the South Caucasus was stated as an outcome of the meeting. Basically, the European Union considers the South Caucasus a vitally important territory. Secondly, besides creating a platform for economic cooperation for the countries of the South Caucasus, the European Union also intends to become a platform for demarcation and delimitation between Armenia and Azerbaijan. And this is a long process. Here we also see the violation of the monopoly of Russia, since Russia was the only one that had the pretension to be the only one to show maps for demarcation, etc. As far as the communication projects are concerned, President of the European Council, Charles Michel, clearly declared that the communication routes need to be opened with respect for the sovereignty of the countries. This means that a decision on the creation of a corridor is breached because if there needs to be respect for sovereignty, we are talking about roads, not corridors. There was also a very important idea that was expressed, and it is the following. The opening of communications concerns examination and opening of communication infrastructures in the South Caucasus as a whole, not just the opening of communications between Armenia and Azerbaijan, meaning the communications in the South Caucasus need to be opened. What does this imply? Firstly, this implies the engagement of Iran in the opening of communications with that country, as well as the creation of opportunities for Armenia to have an exit to the Black Sea, the Mediterranean Sea, the Persian Gulf, and the Indian Ocean. In other words, this concerns a larger project. Of course, here Armenia also needs to be careful of the developments because we know that there are various projects that concern the communications. However, there are already statements according to which the issue of sovereignty has been set forth.
Բաժանորդագրվեք ազգային ժողովրդավարական բևեռի YouTube-յան ալիքին։